Hi, I'm Jim, your companion on this journey to decode the most complex psychological patterns in love, especially when you've been emotionally attached to someone with an avoidant attachment style. If you've ever loved someone who made you doubt your own feelings, left you confused about what you did wrong, or made you feel too much just for wanting closeness, then this video is for you. Not to blame, not to criticize, but to shed light on behaviors that may have deeply hurt you. I'm here to help you untangle the knots, because I believe that once you understand what's really happening behind their coldness, silence, or withdrawal, you'll stop taking it personally, and from there, you'll return to yourself, clearer, stronger, and more whole. In today's video, we'll break down each psychological reaction that avoidants experience when they sense you no longer care, when you've stopped texting, waiting, or trying to save the connection, and you'll see what terrifies them isn't your anger, it's that you've truly let go. Hit that subscribe button and stay until the end. I promise you'll walk away with clarity and a renewed sense of self-respect. Did you know that in relationships with someone who has an avoidant attachment style, you often end up being the one who keeps the warmth alive? You're the one initiating contact, nurturing each interaction, trying to prevent things from going cold. And this initiative, though sincere unwittingly, provides them with a false sense of security. They come to view you as an automatic emotional supply. You'll worry, you'll reach out, you'll be there. That gives them a feeling of control without them needing to activate it. But everything can shift suddenly once you stop. It's not about anger, and it's not about resentment. What truly stuns them is you stopping. No anger, no sadness, no demands or questioning, just silence. Your quiet becomes a silent blow to the structure they've built. I can survive in a world where they'll always come back. Suddenly, that world collapses. Deep inside, they never considered that you might need distance. They believed your love and efforts were permanent, unshakable, unconditional. The video I referenced, "What Happens When Your Avoidant Ex Thinks You Don't Care," captures this perfectly. It calls this stage the collapse of the illusion of control. That's the moment the avoidant realizes you no longer chase. You no longer patiently try to soften their defenses. You go silent, and that's when they lose their emotional anchor. Some describe avoidance in that moment as feeling emotionally disabled, no idea where to lean, because they assumed as long as you were there, they didn't have to take the lead. But I'm not here to stir pain or make you feel foolish for loving wholeheartedly. I'm here to help you embody real self-respect. When you stop, you clearly signal, "I'm not so insignificant that I'll stay even if it hurts me." And that signal isn't a condemnation, it's a boundary. You love, you care, but you don't vanish into yourself for anyone. How you move forward after this silence is your choice. If they retreat further, that signals they were comfortable controlling your emotions, but didn't realize how much it depended on your consistent presence. If they come closer, gentle, without pleas, this is your moment to discern whether they genuinely understand, or if they just want comfort now that they're vulnerable. Importantly, this isn't a game. You're not using silence as a tactic. You're silent because you've learned to honor yourself. You're still here to show that if they're not mature enough to reconnect in a healthy way, you deserve the strength to let go steadily, because your worth doesn't depend on their approval. After the shock of the illusion of control collapsing, the avoidant person enters a rare inner dialogue, a moment of true self-reflection they have long avoided. When you go silent, no more messages, no more reassurance, no more attempts to console. The protective veil of external stimuli comes down. What remains is just them. In that silence, long-buried questions begin to surface. Have I lost something truly valuable? Was I the one who caused the hurt? Or am I merely someone who withdraws when situations demand responsibility? For someone accustomed to burying emotions and relying on external reactions for validation, this moment feels both overwhelming and liberating. They can no longer hide behind excuses like, "I'm too busy," or "I'm not ready to love." Without you, they're left to interpret signs and actions they once dismissed. Every detail of the relationship you maintained becomes an unspoken question. Did I truly honor them? Did I pull away because I can't handle accountability? Do I have the courage to build when it's truly needed? This inner journey provokes two very different responses. Some rush to fill the void with justifications like, "We weren't right for each other," or escape deeper into distractions, work, hobbies, casual pleasures. Others, if they possess a burgeoning self-awareness pause, they begin challenging themselves. Am I too committed to freedom that I forget how to nurture? Am I just running away? It's at this stage that you must remain calm, because you're not the protagonist in their internal drama. You are the stillness that gives them a chance to face themselves, not the rescuer who will guide them out of confusion. Your silence isn't a test, it's an invitation to return to self, not through pressure, but through your calm presence. If they fill the silence with rationalizations or a desperate reaction, you recognize it as yet another form of avoidance. But if they start listening inward and posing the unanswerable questions, this is the sign they're walking the path of growth, albeit still uncertain. And when that happens, you may ask yourself, should I join this journey with them, or must I hold my boundary to safeguard my peace? You don't need to answer right away. Time itself will reveal whether their path is genuine. If they are evolving, they won't be swayed by anger or a minor remark. If, however, they simply try to fill the silent space with shallow gestures, you'll know it's time to live for yourself rather than wait for a return that's not grounded in authenticity. After they've been forced to look inward, the avoidant may move to the next subtle stages, ending vague signals as emotional probes. When you used to be the consistent emotional heater, now they test the waters indirectly. They view your story anonymously, like an unseen observer. They drop a heart on an old photo instead of sending a message. Or they send a casual, just checking in, not enough to fully reveal their heart, but enough to show you they're still paying attention. These actions aren't genuine invitations to reconnect. They are attempts to feel out whether a space still exists for them in your emotional world. They once held a place there. They aren't sure if that's changed. So they send small, quiet signals, as if saying, "Are you still there?" A response confirms their relevance, maybe not a real reconnection, but a sign that they still matter. Such ambiguity can stir uncertainty in you. Do they genuinely want something real? Or am I just tricking myself? But you've learned that this is not the moment to lose yourself. You broke the pattern of emotional pursuit by stepping back. Now, if you respond, let it be with intent and self-respect, not out of pity or desperation. Respond only if the signal shows potential to build something real with clarity and boundaries. At this point, you have two deliberate options. Remain silent as a statement. Maintain your inner integrity. You don't need to confirm or clarify their significance. If they send faint signals, you stay steady, because you know what you deserve is sincerity, not scraps. Your silence becomes the strongest reply. I won't settle for crumbs, I deserve the whole loaf. 2. Respond with clear boundaries. If you choose to reply, do so mindfully. Thanks for your message. I'm okay, but I need clarity. If you truly want connection, I'd like to hear it in words, not signals. Tell me how you feel and what you're ready to do. Your reply in this moment signals that you've stepped out of the script they once controlled. You're now someone who reads between the lines with standards, clarity, respect, transparency. At this stage, they might recoil and retreat. If they've genuinely become aware, they'll start replying with genuine curiosity, true care, and clear intentions. If they continue to lace vague signals without purpose, you know you're still in an unhealthy dynamic and you have the strength to stay silent or walk away. After the subtle signal phase, your silence deepens into a mirror they can no longer avoid. Avoidant individuals have often grown up learning to suppress emotions, to freeze their feelings and avoid making waves. If they had to fully meet their emotions, they'd feel weak or vulnerable. Defeat they avoid at all costs. But when you go completely quiet, no goodnight texts, no questions, no fights, you create a clearing of awareness they must step into. It's a space where emotions cannot be mirrored or rejected by your response because there's none. They realize you are no longer the emotional crutch. Where comfort once was, there's now a barren brightness, no shelter. And in that space of silence, they are forced to ask themselves, why do I feel so empty? Am I truly okay without someone to understand me? Have I let go of something precious without realizing it? These unspoken questions echo in their mind. They don't need to say them to you, they happen inside. This moment is powerful because you have become an external reflection. Their silence reflected back as theirs. They fear being vulnerable, but now their avoidance is caught under your quiet light. You haven't asked anything. You've just created space, and they must place their hand on this emptiness to see if they truly feel nothing or if they are just afraid. Importantly, all you need to do is stay silent. Not to manipulate or punish, but because you've reached a place of inner security within yourself. No one, not even someone speaking volumes, has the same ground you now stand upon. Your silence is both a signal to them and a declaration to you. You will not be the fallback for someone unwilling to face themselves. From here, you may continue to speak your boundaries softly, or keep quiet as a gentle close to a chapter. And if they truly look inward, you may open your heart under the condition that they respond with self-awareness, with honest words and aligned actions, not rushed, not diminished, but as a return from someone who knows their worth, who demands not silence or avoidance, but clarity, mutual presence, and respect. After you've shown them the mirror of your silence and created a space where they must face themselves, an avoidant partner typically reacts in one of two starkly different ways. This becomes a defining moment not only for the relationship, but for your self-respect. Because now, regardless of whether the story continues or ends, you are the one who holds the power to choose. Do you want to remain in a relationship where your desire for closeness is constantly perceived as a threat? If they haven't yet developed enough emotional awareness, they'll usually choose to retreat even further. They may prolong the silence, ignore your messages, avoid your social media, or sever all digital ties. They attempt to re-establish a one-way safety cold detachment that shields them from your emotional presence. They step back again every time you move an inch closer, not because you did anything wrong, but because closeness itself feels dangerous to them. It's a control tactic masked as emotional preservation. And the question you must ask is, do I really want to keep waiting for someone to grow just so they're no longer afraid of intimacy? Your self-worth will echo back the answer. You were never meant to be someone's emotional training ground. You deserve a relationship that's built, not begged for. However, if they've started to awaken to their pattern shift, they're beginning to take responsibility, they may choose to reapproach you, albeit slowly and cautiously. Their messages sound different. I've been thinking a lot about us lately. Their memories come back in soft, vulnerable tones, like, that day still means something to me. Their questions carry genuine care. Are you okay? Not as a test, but as a tender re-entry point. This kind of approach signals a shift. It's not about control or guilt anymore, but an awkward, halting attempt not to lose something valuable again. Yet, it's still tentative. They're unsure how to move forward without falling into old habits. They may not say everything clearly, but they're signaling that your silence meant something, that they felt it, and maybe even grew because of it. Whichever direction they lean, deeper withdrawal or tentative reach, the question comes back to you. Do you want to continue being in a relationship where emotional closeness feels unsafe to them? If they pull back further, that's your cue. You're no longer their emotional caretaker. And if they approach again, you have the right to respond with clarity. You might say, I appreciate this message, but I need to know, are you genuinely willing to build something new with me, not just reopen the past? Let them answer with both honesty and follow-through. Words are nice. Aligned action is necessary. If they can't offer real clarity, if they're still dropping crumbs rather than taking real steps, you have every right to remain quiet, or to walk away entirely, this time not in anger, but in peace. Because the truth is, whether they show up or not, you are no longer waiting. In this part of the journey, your decision becomes your power. If you choose to stay, let it be with someone who values your emotional presence, not fears it. And if you choose to leave, let it be with the quiet pride of someone who knows they are no longer available for half-hearted love. You are not chasing, you are choosing. And that, in the end, is your greatest win. You know, real victory doesn't come when someone comes back, regrets, or finally realizes your worth. The true victory comes in the moment when you no longer need any of that to feel whole. When you step out of the cycle of emotional control, whether it's from an avoidant partner or someone who made you question your own feelings, you are stepping into a new life. One where you are the center, no longer a side character in someone else's emotional play. Your silence, your boundaries, your refusal to over-explain or save the relationship one last time, it's not coldness. It's maturity. It's you no longer defining your worth by your ability to make someone change. It's you realizing that love doesn't have to be earned, proved, or chased to be real. Your stillness is your loudest message. I deserve a love that is mutual, mature, and emotionally available. No one gets to shrink you back down in a journey that is meant to grow you. And the one who is truly for you will never require you to silence yourself, dim your light, or run to be chosen. Because now, you've chosen you. And that changes everything.